What's going on, friends? Logan Myers here for Cinephellas.com. It's the end of 2018. There's been a lot of great and really shitty movies put out this year. A lot of movies I was really looking forward to that I was super let down and disappointed. And some movies I really went in with low expectations and had a great time with. So this year I want to do my top picks for best films of 2018. So a lot of these films I reviewed right here on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't been following, go ahead and hit subscribe and check out some of the older videos. So let's get to my top 10 picks for best films of 2018. Hit it! Number 10. So this is a movie that I just reviewed recently. It came out Thanksgiving time. It's the sequel to the first Creed movie put out, directed by Ryan Coogler. This time around, he did not direct this film, but we see the return of Adonis Creed taking on Ivan Drago's son. So there's a lot of bad blood in this film. There's a lot at stake in this film, and it's a movie I really had a great time with. Excellent performances by Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, and a good way to end this story. I don't think they need to go on to a Creed 3 or anything. This is a really excellent follow-up film, really good holiday time film, and a great film for any Rocky fans out there. I had a great time with this. Creed 2 is one of my picks for best films of the year. Number 9. So number 9 was put out by A24. We actually had the chance to see a press screener of this. We saw it a few weeks before it was released to the general public. I'm talking about Hereditary. Movie was so good. I've watched it 3 times now and fall in love with it more and more every time I watch it. There's so many things you have to pay attention to, a lot of symbolic meanings and things that happen throughout the movie. And not to mention, it's just fucking eerie. It's an eerie-ass movie, with definitely original premise. They did a great job. Toni Collette, outstanding performance. Again, I think this is like Oscar-worthy performance by Toni Collette. A24 has a lot of unique independent films, and they're all different, and this is definitely one of my top picks of the year. Number 8 was put out by Blumhouse Productions, a little sci-fi thriller starring our old friend Logan Marshall Green. And I'm talking about Upgrade, directed by Leigh Whannell, that did, the original Saw. He's been in Insidious films. Really great director. This is a movie that kind of flew under the radar. A lot of people didn't know about it. The marketing wasn't the greatest on this film, but definitely one of the best films put out by Blumhouse this year. And one of my favorite movies of the year. Really outstanding performance by Logan Marshall Green, and a really cool 80s nostalgic kind of feel of this movie with the stem and taking over his paralyzed body and him kicking ass. Really top notch. Only an hour and a half long, but it's a really good time from start to finish. Number 7. The next movie I want to talk about is Annihilation, directed by Alex Garland. Definitely one of my favorite sci-fi flicks of the year, probably one of the top ones for sure. I mean, visually this movie is beautiful. The way that they did, the set design and cinematography and the color schemes and everything in this movie, even the storylines are just really, really, really great. Annihilation is visually stimulating. It's beautiful, the way that it looks. Alex Garland has a key sense to camera work and making sure the cinematography is there. And, just really great performances by Natalie Portman and the female cast in this movie. And another movie that kind of was hit or miss with critics, but I really enjoyed this. Alex Garland can do no wrong, and really looking forward to his future work. Number 6, hitting the Pixar realm here, The Incredibles 2 sequel was finally released 2018. The original came out in 2004, so it was a long time in between the first and second film. Well, let me tell you what, the animation is even better this time around. There's a lot of action in this movie, a lot of great characters, and obviously the animation was top notch. It's beautiful, and Pixar is the best in the game of animation. So number 5 is A Quiet Place, written and directed by John Krasinski. We know him from The Office. Usually the kind of the goofy roles, he's more comedic, but this time around it's straight up thriller horror flick. It's all based on silence, 80% of the movie, and the setup of his family and his real life wife, Emily Blunt, is in this film being pregnant with her kids. The whole premise is they have to be quiet. If they make any noise, these creatures come out of nowhere and they basically kill you. So that's the setup. There's a lot of suspense in this movie, and really great standout performance by John Krasinski, directing this as well and starring. Really top-notch flick, and I'm really looking forward to his future films coming out. Number 4, The Merc with the Mouth, Deadpool 2. The sequel came out this year. Another movie I was really, really excited to see, and I was not disappointed in any way. There was so much comedy in this. There was more heart in this movie this time around. Some great cameos. Ryan Reynolds can do no wrong when it comes to Wade Wilson. He is born to play this character, and I really had a blast with the sequel film. One of the better superhero movies that came out this year. Number 3! These years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it all built up to this movie, Avengers Infinity War, bringing in Thanos once and for all, and him dusting and getting rid of everybody. Really excited for this film, but you know, the way that everything ended, it just rips out your heart, you know. You're still beating her, and it's all gone. It was a really great seeing all these characters that we've grown up with, all the characters that we've loved over the past 10 years, and all these other movies in this universe leading up to the Infinity War, coming together and taking on Thanos. Pretty much a perfect movie, you know, leading up to the final entry being Avengers Endgame coming out next year. So this is definitely one of my top picks of the year for best films. Number 2. So the next movie was a book that I fell in love with and read it right before we went to see the movie on the big screen. I'm talking about Ready Player One, written by Ernest Cline. This movie is directed by Steven Spielberg. He needs no introduction, and he's back and better than ever. He really brought back those nostalgic feelings that we remember from his 80s movies, 70s and 80s. He really brought it back, but with, you know, better CGI this time around. You know, entering the Oasis with Wade Watts and seeing all these pop culture references and video games and music and movies and everything intertwined into one, and I just had an absolute blast with this movie. This is a perfect movie for me. And it all comes down to number 1. Another one bites dust. Yes, I'm talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. This is a movie that really, really surprised me. I went in with super low expectations. I thought they were going to butcher this, Freddie Mercury's life, you know, the legacy of Queen, but you know what? This movie was so fucking good. The soundtrack, the way they shot this movie, and again, this is what I said in my movie review. He deserves an Oscar for this, for best performance, in my opinion, of the year. So hopefully he gets nominated and hopefully he wins something, but this is my favorite movie of the year. I've been listening to Queen ever since we saw it, a month or two ago. I got a few Queen vinyls for Christmas. I'm a huge fan. And this is a movie that you must see in the big screen with the surround sound and get the full-on experience of the Live Aid performance that they do in 1985. So Bohemian Rhapsody is my favorite movie of 2018, and those are my picks. So I want to hear from you guys. I'm sure you guys disagree on some of my lists and some movies I liked that you probably didn't, but I want to hear from you guys. What did you like this year? What was your favorite movie? What didn't you like? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myers signing out from Cinephellas Studios for the last time in 2018. See you next year. Cheers!